Horror fans have a new reason to be excited and afraid, as Together, the latest film from Neon, lands in theaters this week. Directed by Michael Shanks in his debut feature, Together isn't just a typical horror story about love gone wrong. It's being hailed as one of the scariest films of 2025, and thanks to some surprising science, the studio now claims to have the data to prove it. Opening on July 30th, Together stars real-life couple Dave Franco and Alison Brie as two lovers whose relationship is pushed to grotesque extremes after a mysterious night spent in an uncharted cave. While the premise alone promises tension, dread, and body horror, Neon took a bold step to demonstrate just how frightening the experience truly is. By using a scientific method that scans pupil dilation, a biological signal associated with fear, shock, and emotional stimulation, Neon measured audience responses throughout test screenings. The results were jaw-dropping. Intense physiological reactions were recorded for 86% of the film's runtime. With that kind of data, Together may not only deliver scares, it might set a new benchmark for psychological and visceral horror. The buzz around Together began earlier this year at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival, where it received a standing ovation and early critical acclaim. At one point, the film held a perfect 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. While it's now sitting at a still impressive 99%, it's clear that critics have been swept up in the twisted originality and emotional depth that Shanks has brought to his horror debut. Critics have praised the film for its bold storytelling and performances. Britt Hayes of MovieWeb awarded it a flawless 5/5, describing it as a disgusting delight, while also acknowledging its ability to portray deep emotional truths about modern relationships through grotesque imagery. Ross Boname of Collider lauded the commitment of Brie and Franco, noting that they lean fully into the film's strange and haunting concept. Meanwhile, Brittany Patrice Witherspoon of Screen Rant declared it the next essential entry in the body horror canon, placing Shanks among promising new horror filmmakers. Alongside Franco and Brie, the film features Damon Herriman and Mia Morrissey in supporting roles. But at its heart, Together is a chilling exploration of a couple unraveling, emotionally, psychologically, and even physically. The story follows Tim and Millie, who abandon their urban lives for a new beginning in the countryside. Already struggling with unspoken tensions and emotional distance, the couple embarks on a hike that leads them into a strange, untouched cave. What happens inside is left mostly to the imagination in early reviews, but the aftermath promises a descent into bodily transformation, creeping dread, and mental decay. Unlike traditional horror films that rely on jump scares or gore alone, Together taps into the horror of dependency, emotional vulnerability, and how love can become monstrous. It balances its horrifying elements with moments of dark humor and philosophical undertones, creating a layered experience that lingers long after the credits roll. What makes Together especially noteworthy isn't just its chilling story or strong performances, it's the way it blends emotional resonance with physical horror. At a time when many horror films chase shock value, Together dares to tell a story that feels both intimate and universal. By using technology to quantify the audience's fear response, Neon has backed its marketing with measurable proof that this film is doing something few others can. With Shanks' direction, Franco and Brie's chemistry, and a concept that defies easy categorization, Together is poised to be a breakout hit not just for fans of horror, but for moviegoers looking for something bold, strange, and unforgettable.